Hi guys, so in today's class we're gonna keep learning, okay? We're gonna continue learning. So today's topic is the verb be, but we're gonna use the verb be today in the present sim, okay? Remember to pay attention, and at the end of the class you have to practice it, okay? So let's continue with today's topic. Okay guys, now let's continue with the class. Okay? Now we're gonna work now with the verb be with affirmative sentences but in singular. Okay? Now let's remember a little bit. We have for the verb be am, is, and are. Okay? But we also have the contraction, the short form of the verb be. For example, if I have am, the contraction is gonna be apostrophe m, okay? If I have is, the contraction is gonna be apostrophe s, perfect. And finally, if we have are, the contraction is gonna be apostrophe r, okay, perfect. Now, let's work with some examples. Let's see here. I happy. Which is gonna be the correct verb be? If I have I, you are gonna write am. I am happy. Okay? Let's go with the next one. You at school. You, I'm talking with somebody. Okay? You at school. What is gonna be the correct verb be? Here in this case is gonna be are. You are at school. Now, he is starving. Starving means when you have a lot of hungry. Okay, when you have a lot of hungry. When you need food, a lot of food. So he is starving. What is gonna be the correct verb be? Yes, it's gonna be is. Why is? Because he is the third person. Okay? So he is starving. Now here we have she a vet. The correct verb be is gonna be is. And finally, it big. Remember, it is referring to a thing. Okay? It is referring to a thing. So what is gonna be the correct verb to be? It is big. Okay? So remember, if I have I, the correct verb be is am. If I have you, the correct verb be is are. And if I have he, she, it, the correct verb be is gonna be is. Perfect. Now let's continue with the next topic. Okay guys, now let's continue. We have worked with the singular. Now let's work with affirmative sentences, but in plural, okay? We're gonna work now in plural. So, we have learned that the verb is am, is, are. But now that we are working in plural, we are only gonna use one of these. So let's see. Here we have three examples. We on time. Which of these ones is gonna be the correct verb be? The correct verb be is gonna be are. So here we have we are on time. Okay? We are on time. Perfect. Let's go with the next one. You, I'm referring here to a group of people. Okay? You, students. The correct verb to be is gonna be you are students. Okay? And for the last one, here I have they, referring to a group of people also. Okay? So, they in silence. They are in silence. Okay? So perfect. Let's continue. Okay guys, perfect. We have seen affirmative sentences in singular and plural. Now let's work with negative sentences in singular and plural. Let's start with singular negative sentences. Okay, now, how are we gonna form the verb be in negative? Let's stop here for a minute. I'm not, is not, and are not. Okay? And do we have a contraction for this expression? Of course we have. I'm not, the contraction is apostrophe M, not. Is not, the contraction is gonna be isn't. And are not, the contraction is gonna be aren't. Okay? Now let's work with some examples. Let's go with the first one. I happy. What is gonna be the correct verb be? Yes. I'm not happy. Correct? Perfect. Let's go with the next one. You at school. What is the correct verb be in negative? Of course, you aren't at school. Perfect. Let's go with the next one. Here, remember that we have now he, she, it. What is gonna be the correct verb be? In this case, yes, he isn't starving. She, perfect, isn't a police officer. Correct. And finally, it isn't big. Perfect, my friends. So let's remember, let's review a little bit. I'm not happy. You aren't at school. He isn't starving. She isn't a police officer. It isn't big. Perfect. Now let's continue with the plural sentences. Okay, guys. Now let's continue working with negative sentences, but now in plural. Okay? Now here we have, again, we, you, and they. Let's start with the first one. Okay? So, we, which is gonna be the correct verb to use? I'm not, is not, or are not? In this case, we're gonna use are not. So, here is gonna be we aren't late. Okay, perfect. With the next one, you aren't doctors. And finally, they aren't noisy. They aren't noisy. Remember, are not, the contraction is gonna be aren't. Okay? So now let's review. We aren't late. We aren't late. You aren't doctors. You aren't doctors. They aren't noisy. They aren't noisy. Perfect. Now let's continue with some questions and answers. Okay, guys. Now, to finish with this topic, we're gonna stop and work with questions and answers, using the verb be, of course. Now, how are we gonna form questions with the verb be? First of all, we're gonna use the verb be at the beginning. Then, we're gonna use our subject. And finally, we're gonna use the complement. But be careful. All of our questions must have the question sign. Okay? So let's remember, we're gonna use the verb be, the subject, the complement, and the question sign. Let's see an example. Here we have our friend Tony and Susan. Tony wants to know something about himself. Okay? So for example, am I a teacher? Am I a teacher? Susan is gonna answer in positive. Yes, you are. Now in negative. No, you aren't. Remember, if you are using I, you are gonna answer with you. Okay? Am I a teacher? Yes, you are. No, you aren't. Positive, negative. Let's continue. Okay, guys, now let's continue. Now we're gonna work with is. Is he your teacher? Is he your teacher? Yes, he is. No, he isn't. Is he your teacher? What is our subject? Which is our subject? He. And in our answers, we're gonna use he again. Is he your teacher? In positive, yes, he is. In negative, no, he isn't. Now, guys, let's work with the verb be are. Are they your friends? Are they your friends? In positive, yes, they are. Yes, they are. In negative, no, they aren't. Okay? But again, are they your friends? Yes, they are. No, they aren't. Okay, guys, thanks for your patience and your attention. We have finished the class. So today in this topic we have learned the verb be in the present simple. Okay, the verb be in the present simple. We have learned affirmative sentences, negative sentences, and finally questions and answers. Remember to practice this at home, maybe with friends or in your family. Okay, so final recommendations, practice this, and also be careful with your hygiene. Don't be going out a lot. Stay at home with your family, which is the most important people that you have now. Okay, so be careful, have safe, and see ya in the next class. Bye bye.